Hi guys, how's it going? Not really Keith here today with another Battlegrounds video. This time with some Voljin gameplay for you. So, for those who don't know, Voljin's hero power swaps the attack of 2 minions and adds the other minion's attack to that minion. So for instance, if I use it on the Molten Rock, they'll both gain 3 attacks. They both gain each other's attack. It's called Spirit Swap. And then Voljin's buddy also swaps the health of the 2 minions. Now bear in mind this effect is not permanent, so you'll see it's wearing off after each combat. So it's just for one turn. Now when you're playing Voljin, really you want to try and find a way to make that stat permanent. And one of the best ways to do that at the moment is by playing demons. What you can do is swap the attack with something in the shop and then eat the minion in the shop, and it will keep the stats permanently, because when it consumes a minion in the shop, the stats are there for permanent. So that's exactly what I'm trying to do in this game here. So for the early game, really, your main goal, if you're playing this Voljin character and demons are in the game, you do want to get to tier 3, but you also want to be able to get your buddy. So early game, you want to be making a strong board, as strong as you can, to be able to get you to tier 3 with as much health remaining as possible to give you a good chance of making these very big minions. So the way I've decided to do that is to play elementals early game, even though I'm probably going to be playing demons. For those a bit more advanced players though, one thing you'll notice I'm doing here is I'm trying to make a really big minion to prepare for when I get the buddy and when I get the false implicator, which you'll see comes into play in a little bit.
Unstoppable force. Recruitment time, my favorite.
So once you get to tier 3, you're really looking to pick up the false implicator card. It's one of the earliest minions in the game to have this consumer minion from the shop ability. And so tier 3 is really the first place you're going to be able to get one of these cards. A couple of the other cards you could be looking for are any demons that consume minions in the shop, or spells that consume minions in the shop, and then also things that copy the stats in the shop. Things like the Elemental can be good towards the later stages of the game. So, doing pretty well here so far. Still just looking for that false implicator. Now, I'm deciding here, do I just roll for it? Do I use all my money rolling? Do I keep trying to build my board? These are all things I'm considering here.
Play nice, minion.
One of the good things about Voljin though is he does get quite a bit of armor. So you do have some time to try and build this comp in the early to mid game.
Welcome back, Commander.
Another option here, if you can't find the implicator, is to level to 4, which gives you another minion in the shop. So you have an extra minion to be able to try and find it. But I do manage to pick it up here, which I'm certainly very happy about, and it means next turn I can use the buddy and really get the comp moving. I'm still buffing the Molten Rock though. That's going to be the first minion I swap the stats with when I get my buddy, and it might sound a bit complicated at the moment, but it'll make sense in just a moment. For the time being, all you need to know is try and build a big minion as you're looking for the False Implicator. So you've got one big minion on your board that's ready, and then get the False Implicator and your buddy. So, once you're able to get your buddy, as I mentioned before, the buddy gives health of the target minions to each other, not just attack. So it means now the target minions will gain the stats of the other minion you swap with. So what you can do is buy the entire shop apart from one minion, swap the stats onto that last minion, and then it's guaranteed to be consumed by the False Implicator, as you can see. So the False Implicator gains all the stats of the minion, because there's only one minion left. And then the way this composition goes infinite is, now I can buy the shop and use the False Implicator with my hero power, and just keep permanently doubling its stats pretty much. So I do take some damage here. It's important to try and get this online as soon as possible, because once you get rolling, it's very difficult to beat this comp. So now all I'm looking to do every turn is buy all the minions in the shop except one, and then swap the stats with my False Implicator and the minion in the shop. And then it'll eat the minion in the shop and gain the stats. Sorry, I make it sound complicated. It's really quite simple if you watch. So once you've got this online and it's working quite well, and you're sort of doubling the minion stats every turn, there's a couple of things you can do here. So for the late game, you want to be splitting the stats up so that you've not got them all on one minion, but at the same time you want to be getting that minion quite big. So once you get the minion big enough to be able to kill most things, most boards, what you want to do is get other minions to have that stat line. And there's a few ways you can do that, which I'll show you soon. I'm pretty sure I do it in this game.
Not a problem. Here's your gold.
So once again, just buying all the minions in the shop apart from one, using my hero power on the Implicator and the minion in the shop. So then the Implicator can eat the minion in the shop and gain its stats. As you can see, it's already at 98 and climbing.
This isn't your first snowball fight.
So this build can be done in any game where there's demons. And Voljin's good with regular minion types in the games, but with demons it's a lot stronger. So I only really play him when demons are in the game. So I'm looking to go tier 5 here because Shell Elemental is a really good card, and there's also the spell on tier 5 to consume the whole shop. These kind of things. You can use the Mind Muck actually to consume the minion in the shop. That is another way of doing it with a 2-drop, but it's obviously only a battle cry. So So as you can see, that guy actually had a Leroy, which is a little bit dangerous because if it had hit my big minion, I don't have much else on the board. So it's really important I try and get another strong minion here. While also still making my minions, making sure I'm buying the whole shop every turn. So that's what I'm looking for here. I'm looking for a Shell Elemental. Now I do manage to pick up the Drakari, and this is a bit complicated, but with the Drakari it means I only have to buy 3 minions in the shop. So there only needs to be 2 minions left, because with Drakari it will eat the last 2 minions in the shop. So it saves me a bit of gold. Means I only have to buy 3 out of the 5 minions. The reason you have to buy all the minions in the shop is because you need to guarantee the false implicator will eat the big minion. For those who are wondering why you need to buy out the whole shop. So now my false implicator is big enough to kill pretty much everything, which is really good. And this could be enough to just win with 1 minion, but it is a bit risky, especially in higher tier lobbies where people are trying to counter you. They'll know that if they kill that minion, they can just win from there. So there is a spell I think I find here that's really effective.
Recruitment time, my favorite.
Oh, there you go. So it's the 4-cost spell. I think it's called Cupcakes or something. Demon Cupcakes. But basically allows you to choose a minion that's a demon and consume all the minions in the shop. So what I can do is put the implicator stats onto a minion in the shop using my buddy and hero power, then cast it on the picky eater and consume everything in the shop. So now I've got 2 very large minions, which is obviously better than 1. And it means there's less chance that I get killed by some sort of scam. I don't think Murlocs are in the game for poison, but there's still Leroy, there's still Bramble Witch. So I'm feeling a lot better now that I've got 2. You'll also see I don't even have the golden buddy yet. When you get the golden buddy, things get even crazier. But usually, it's not actually needed. You can usually win a game just with the regular buddy.
Time to see our new recruits.
So I've been quite unlucky this game not finding any Shell Elementals, but I'll explain what happens if you do. If you can find a Shell Elemental, the Shell Elemental allows you to give a minion in the shop stats to a random minion on your board. So if you give the False Implicator stats to a minion in the shop, and then use the Shell Elemental spellcraft on it, it will give all of those stats to a minion on your board permanently. So I do find another one of these cupcake spells, which seems to be the only way I'm getting the stats onto other minions, but it's fine. So basically pick the biggest minion, swap it in the shop, and I've got another 1,800.
First place is yours. This calls for a celebration. victory. That's how it's done.
So, when you get the Buddy Golden, if you do get to this stage of the game, instead of just copying the minion's health, which is its normal ability, it doubles the health.
You did it.
So if I use my hero power on a minion on my board and then a minion in the shop, it gives the minion in the shop double the health of the minion on my board. Which means if you use it on a 5/5 on your board and a 5/5 in the shop, it'll get plus 10 health because it doubles the health of the minion. Which, when you've got a 868 health minion, it gets kind of crazy, as you can see. So there's no real need for the minions to be this big, especially in this lobby. Actually, no, I think they... Well, you'll see in a minute. But once you've got to this stage, it's about splitting the stats up. So trying to get all of your minions with a good stat line, so that even if they run counter, you can still beat them because you have lots of minions that are very big. Don't just put all your effort into making one very big minion. I know it sounds tempting, but they can counter it. So if you've got a 10,000 minion, it's going to be very easy to counter because you've only got one minion with the stats. So I'm into the top two here. I pick up the Feyrix just for the Divine Shield option. But this is looking like a win. Last opponent, the minions are getting... You'll see with the double stats. I mean, look at these minions. 5,000 health. If it went on a couple more turns, it would be up to, you know, 10,000, 20,000.
Want to know the forecast? There's snow, more snow, and surprisingly, even more snow.
And no offense to this guy, he's got a very strong board. I think this comp is very good. But Voljin's just really broken when it gets to this stage, and there's nothing really that can outscale it. He's got the health, he just doesn't have the attack. And yeah, there you have it. So if you do get a chance, try this out, Voljin Demons. I've been Not Really Keith, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Bye bye.